Slakia. Deuteronomy chapter 30 is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
Right, so the Most High's portion is his people. Who are his people? Get it in Exodus chapter 3 verse 10. And Jacob is his inheritance.
Exodus chapter 3 verse 10. Come now therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt.
The Most High's people is the children of Israel, who he brought out of Egypt. And he's going to bring them up again out of Babylon, which is so-called Egypt today. Because it's spiritual Egypt. This is where the so-called black man was brought into captivity by way of cargo slave ships in 1619. From the west coast of Africa, all the way here to Point Comfort, Virginia. Okay? Because when the scriptures say that he will bring them into Egypt again with ships, he was talking about a spiritual Egypt. Because they wouldn't go back into Egypt again after the Exodus. So he's talking about a spiritual Egypt that would be like Egypt in Africa, because there would be a lot of bondage, idolatry, and wickedness going on. But it's here. This is land. This land is Egypt. Spiritual Egypt. It's the land they're talking about, the scriptures. So the Most High is dealing with our people. Okay, we're his chosen people. So-called black man, Negro man, indigenous man of this continent. Okay, we came over here by way of slave ships and by way of ships that weren't slave ships, but ships that were coming over here, escaping the Babylonian captivity. Okay? So give me Psalms 83, verse 2. Because as Israel, all we've been doing is running, escaping captivity. Because if we're not in one captivity, we get a little slack, but then we get pushed right back into another captivity. And that's the story. That's the story throughout the whole scriptures. Like, as a quote brought it out earlier, I think we had like 80 years of peace under King David and King Solomon. But what happened after that? After the whole nation went off, we started going into captivity and captivity. Okay? So give me Psalms 83.
Psalms chapter 83 verse 2. For, lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
The Most High has enemies. Okay?
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Who hates us? Who hates the indigenous man on this land? Who hates the so-called Negro man in this land? The other nations. Right? Esau, the so-called Caucasian man, the Chinese man, the Arab man, the Eastern Indian man, all the men who oppress us here.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They've taken crafty counsel against our people. They found out ways to enslave our people. They found out ways to pretend to make us content with the things we have. They give us jobs, working for them. They're billion-dollar corporations. They gave us a little money. They gave us a little new car. They gave us a little house here and there on our land, and we pay them. They've taken crafty counsel against us. You know, they teach us their doctrines in their schools. They don't teach us about our history, our true history. They teach us about his story, the way he wants to tell it, not the way it's written in the Holy Scriptures.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
They want to cut us off from being a nation, from being these 12 tribes that you see here on this chart here. They don't want us to know who we are, and they don't want us to come together. Because when the so-called indigenous man, Latino man, and black man comes together, by Shema Mashiach Yahweh in truth and in righteousness, know who we are, that's it, man. It's over for us. That's it. We're done here. We don't have to serve this captivity. We can get out of here. We can go back to the land. We can take the kingdom. But until our people start coming back to the truth, which, give me that, Psalms 119, 142, we're going to be living in darkness, man. We're going to be walking in darkness. Because the law is light. The law, the statutes, commandments of the Most High is the light. Okay? Go ahead.
Psalms chapter 119, verse 142. That righteousness is an everlasting righteousness.
Our righteousness is an everlasting righteousness. Okay?
And thy law is the truth.
The law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High is the truth. Okay? And according to Hamashiach Yahushua, who the world calls Christ, Moses, who received the law and gave it to the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, is going to accuse us to the Father on whether or not we're following that law. Okay? That's what we're going to be accused to the Father by. The law, statutes, commandments, and the faith in his Son, Hamashiach Yahushua. Okay? Now give me righteousness in Deuteronomy 6, verse 25. Because we got to know what righteousness is. We got to know what truth. These are all little key words that we should know. Truth. Okay, you know the truth goes with the law, statutes, commandments. Now what is righteousness?
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness.
It shall be our righteousness, the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Listen up.
If we observe to do all these commandments before the Most High our power, as he hath commanded us.
He hath commanded us. So he gave us a commandment about these law, statutes, and commandments to follow them. And this is Deuteronomy. This is after most of the laws were given. The Levitical laws, the dietary laws, the high holy days. So he's saying it's going to be our righteousness. We will be righteous if we truly come back to these law, statutes, and commandments. Give me Deuteronomy 4:40. Because throughout this whole book, Deuteronomy chapter 4:40.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 40. Thou shalt keep therefore their statutes and his commandments, which I command thee this day, that it may go well with thee.
Hear that? So it may go well with you. Now this is real prosperity preaching.